Now this next question is more of a comment this actually comes up quite a bit, so I'm just going to cover it right now because a lot of people are interested in correcting mainly the head forward posture, right? The forward head goes this way. Now, the thing that commonly happens is whenever we try to fix that, we think about trying to pull it back like this, right? We try to pull it back head forward, we try to take it head backward, right? And the problem with that is whenever you just try to pull like this, you're going to be very limited because you're going to get to the point where you come to the block that your thoracic spine won't let you go any further. So the first thing with this is that the first thing you have to do is you have to improve your thoracic spine mobility. And that's done through using the T4 mobilization. It's in Module 1, I believe. The floor angels, even the baby belly where you lift your head is important, where you can feel your everything connected in the front. Imagine me laying on the floor right here, and I'm lifting my head up off the floor while still keeping my front support zone. That requires you to get movement through your thoracic spine. Okay, there's other things in the course that are very good for this, and that's one of them is the standing rocker band. You don't have to do it on a rocker board, but you take your looped band like this, get your fingers inside it, and you activate down and back, and that creates an openness in the chest and a thoracic spine extension. Okay, now the other thing that happens with this is a common mistake is that people try to raise their head, and by lifting their head, what happens is everything else lifts too. Okay, you'll notice probably sometimes when you're laying down on the ground and you try to bring your ribs down, your neck wants to go up like this, and if you try to correct your neck, your ribs want to pop up like this. You see that? It's like they're on a string. And the difference there is movement in your thoracic spine. Okay? So, here's the deal. Here's how I like to approach that. Of course, it goes back to what? Getting thoracic spine mobility, right? But whenever you are working on it, just actively, say you're like doing a standing check-in, right? Scanning the whole body. Whenever you're trying to get as long as you can with your neck, I want you to be thinking of being as low as you can with your ribs. So you can put your thumbs on the front of your ribs, get as long as you can, and if you need to, go ahead and let your chest rise, and then at that point, you're going to every exhale you breathe, every time you breathe out, you're going to allow your ribs to descend a little bit. You're going to keep that position with your next breath, and each time you're going to allow and feel the ribs descend in the front while you keep this in the back. And so that requires you, of course, to be feeling everything in the back coming down like this. Okay? The other thing that's really important here is if your suboccipital muscles at the base of your neck, okay, these guys right here, if those guys are tight, right, it's going to not allow you to get that neck back and up like you should. And so what we do there is you can practice, I'll turn to the side so you can see this, right? Get a little closer. Is as you're elongating, right, you have that string pulling you up, or you imagine that you're pushing away and your neck is being pushed up and floated up. Imagine the push that you get is recycling and coming up through, and if you've ever blown a ping pong ball on top of a straw, right, the head kind of, or the ball kind of bobs around. That's what you want kind of feel like. It's almost like there's a energy coming through you, or you can imagine like a spring's bubbling up from the ground, and there's a ball on top of it, and that's your head, and it's just kind of sitting there. So that power is being generated by that push away system, and then up goes your head. Right? Now, once you're there, or to the best of your ability there, what you're going to do is practice very gently yes nodding. Okay? nod yes. I'm not saying retract. I'm saying yes nod. I want you to make space here with a gentle yes nod. Okay? And you do that without lifting. These guys stay down. Gentle yes nod. The other thing you can add on top of this, the other reason people have head forward issues is the jaw, TMJ, because as soon as you're forward like this, the jaw becomes out of balance and it gets locked into a muscle imbalance situation where the lateral pterygoids become too overactive, the jaw juts too far, and the digastric muscles, which pull the jaw backwards, become weak or inhibited, okay? So you can also, if you put that little intention on the jaw where you just take your finger and let it come backwards just a little bit, as you do the yes nod, you'll have an even more impactful experience, okay? So those are some things that will hopefully help you feel what it should feel like to do the head forward posture correction without losing your power in your center. Remember, the diaphragm always stays level. This position is always level. We never want to have this position up and out. You know, there's a time for that. You can stretch that out every once in a while. That's fine. It's important to give your brain and your nervous system all that information, but it's not whenever you're trying to create something, not when you're trying to move a load or sing or do anything functionally with good efficiency. That's when you want everything centrated and locked in place, okay? Loosely locked in place. We don't want to become rigid, right? Because we always have to continue to breathe. But just remember, ribs are always down, and it's a gentle yes nod. Make space in the back and work on those T-spine mobility exercises, okay? That's it.